Hello everybody, this is Margaret. Thanks for stopping by my channel this Friday, September 24th. What you can hear in the background is crackling fireplace noises. Hopefully it doesn't leap into an ad or interrupt my speaking. So I'm recording this ahead of time because once again, I'm going to be traveling during this day. And here is my theme for the day. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Channel, life goals, and it happens to be Mabon this week. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of the pagan Wheel of the Year witchery at you at the same time, because those are always good occasions to examine your life choices. So here we go. Channel goals. I had to look at the plan with us that I did back in December with Tori and Joe and Sandy, and I'll put that down below, to get a little bit of an idea of what my channel goals were back 9 months ago. And it was pretty illuminating. A lot of the books had changed, but overall goals had not. So I'm going to go through what I think have been my reading goals, writing goals, and life goals for this year and see how I'm doing on them. And maybe that will help some of you reflect or motivate yourselves to do the same, or, you know, just get that little extra kick of encouragement to get that next thing done. So we've got reading. So in December of last year, I was just cracking the ice on switching from Goodreads to Storygraph. Done. We are on Storygraph. I'm no longer updating Goodreads, and I pretty much like it. I haven't done reviews on there, so more on that in a second. But I definitely feel better supporting the starters of Storygraph rather than the Zon. We've got community. That was one of my goals, was to do more buddy reads with people and participate in more readathons. And I have definitely done that this year. I even started my own readathon, March of the Moderns, which is going to move to May this next year because March was just too crowded. So look for that next year. We'll see who we gather in. But between the Storygraph experience and the community experience, what I would like to add going forward is having more intentional reviews. So on Goodreads, I didn't always include reviews either. I usually did. I usually included quotes. But in Storygraph, it's much too easy. It's helpful for tracking, but it's much too easy to check all the boxes and not leave a review. And I end up reviewing books verbally on my channel. So what I thought would be good to do is when I rate a book and check those boxes, to also include a link to my verbal review. And since I'll also be doing more single book review videos, that would be helpful for leaving intentional reviews, especially if a book needs amplification, or it is not finding its audience, or it is not getting credit that it deserves. Those are the ones that I want to highlight and that I want to, you know, promote to people because they're not overhyped by others, and I want to help the author. So there we go. Reading. I've definitely read more diversely. That was another goal this year. The readathons helped with that. Also, buying more diversely helped. Also, I'm trying to think, watching BookTube channels that were more diverse helped as well. And so this is a good one. I think I'm doing well on this. And let's see, list of recommendations with affiliate links. So since I haven't done too many single book reviews yet, I don't have like a core that I can make into a playlist, but I can get you a short list of my favorite diverse book recommendations. Again, those are going to be the ones that are not being overly hyped by other people, whose author I think just deserves a little boost from mini influencer me, right? Yeah, so there's that. And in terms of reading quantity and quality, I feel like BookTube has definitely helped me up my volume of books read, just because of consciousness of it, as well as other things shifting in my life. But quality has sort of taken a weird, it's much more grab bag with the amount of books that I'm reading. And that is because I'm trying more books outside my comfort zone, whether that be for buddy reads or to read something that has been languishing on my shelf to get it out of the house and declutter. Because of those two reasons, I feel like I've taken a lot more chances reading books that I maybe wouldn't have before. And so they get lower ratings because they wouldn't have been read before. Now they're getting read and DNF'd or rated low. Does that make sense? It's like a mathematical thing. There's no better or less good. It's just what it is. All right, so that's my reading goal update. My writing goal update. Okay, so I had research on here, and I'm going to give myself a good check for that because I have read a few of the comps that I was told at HNS. I've definitely got a lot of sources on my list in my binder that I'm keeping track of so that I can help people or thank people in the acknowledgements. I've done some connecting over social media and email, but mostly looking up resources and reading them from the library or the Internet Archive, etc. And they've been highly informative. It's just sort of all cluttering in right now. I'm doing my best to pull out the threads and like leave everything else on the page. And as this video is going up, I am in Chicago, so probably doing research as we speak. So check. Rewriting. This is a little more difficult because this is slow going and it feels very rough. So, this is a continuing kind of goal. Marketing. I'm going to give myself a check for that, especially in the past month. One of the things to do with your YouTube channel when you're writing is do all that SEO backend so that people can discover you. As I've said before, the reason I started this channel as an author is because none of the other social media platforms were really working for my style, my personality, my rhythm, my audience. And so this has definitely worked out the best. And so therefore I can finally have my due diligence catch up with my experimentation and actually do all the normal things you're supposed to do. And shout out to Barrett Laurie, who just came around at the exact right time with the exact right advice. So I've been binging some of his backlog of videos because he has great checklists of SEO and what to do to grow your channel, especially as an author. So check out Barrett's channel. I will put that down below. And writing. Another part of marketing for my writing is doing YOLA, because this is basically like a service that I render the writing community in my area of the country, and depending on the pandemic, further afield. This is an indie book fair that we do in December. It's Icelandic themed, based on Yola Bókaflóð in Iceland, which is all the books come out. People get each other books as gifts and go home and read on Christmas Eve, far through the night with a cup of hot chocolate. So it's a very cozy, introverted vibe. You can tell why I love it, and adapted it for Portland. And so like I said, this is like a labor of love. And I'm hoping that we get lots more Pacific Northwest authors who want to come on this day. It is December 12th. It's not going to be a crowded space with authors. We're doing social distancing. We're asking people to wear masks because it'll be inside, but we're also hoping to have people come and flow through and get Christmas shopping done. You might have heard that indie bookstores are having supply issues, and so this will be a great time for indie authors themselves to sell books if they have inventory now that they want to sell. So order your books now, get that inventory, save it for a book fair, and we would love to have you here in Portland at Urbanite on December 12th. I'll put the link down below for people who would like to apply. And finally, another writing marketing thing was Patreon. So I just started that when I did my December check-in, and the bare minimum I feel like I'm keeping up with. I've got 2 posts a month at least, and doing the book club and the book mail. And those are very fun and successful. I love writing the postcards to my patrons at the beginning of the month, putting stamps or stickers or, just like a happy thought on a postcard that is randomly drawn from my ancient vintage collection, which is fun because I don't get to flaunt that. It's just been hoarded paper for so many years. So that's super fun. And the books we've read for book club have definitely stretched boundaries, have been diverse, have, brought me out of my comfort zone. So the book club, I think, is very successful. I'd love to have you join. I even have a banner for this. So let's pop that one up. But yeah, there's a few tiers, and you can also just follow on Patreon to see if anything comes up in the future that is appealing to you and you want to join at that point. I did just go to a book club buffet, and we got to listen to 32 different authors, like very book club friendly authors, and I have my eye on a few, and I might be able to get one of them to talk to my Patreon book club, and that would be really cool. So I will think about that. I want to give them, a bigger crowd than what it is right now. So I'll have to set that in the future perhaps, but that is just an idea that may be happening. So keep your eye out for that. So that's pretty good on my writing goals. And then finally, zooming out, we have life goals update. And so one of the things that I started at the end of last year to this year was my bullet journal. And I got this special at the end of the year because, nothing says organized like an expensive planner. I treated myself because it had been a couple years since I used a real planner. And these are a bullet journal that is just dotted pages. If you're familiar, some are blank, some are lined, some are dotted. And this was a dot grid. And it's been very helpful. So off and on, I've shared, and I can't do a flip through because I don't have a real camera, but I decorate the pages. I use stickers. I track every day. I have monthly layouts. I have weekly layouts. It's chaotic good, and it has been really helpful keeping me focused on what I need to do going forward and not forgetting things. There are still randomly proliferating notebooks in the general direction of the desk, but for the most part, I keep it anchored here and have offshoots of index cards or ripped out pages. So anyway, yes, I'm doing better keeping stuff in a bullet journal. So that has been helpful. I would recommend it. Doesn't have to be an expensive one. I put another category under life, which I called living liminal privilege, by which I mean I'm in between things and I have been living in uncertainty for 2 years. And at the beginning of this, I took this as very difficult to stay in because I wanted to conform to some expectations. But for the moment, for the past month at least, I feel much more at ease in this liminal space and able to direct my energies to what I am best at rather than worrying about satisfying others' expectations or conforming to societal norms. And I'm going to take that as a win. So it's not going to last forever. And I feel like that is part of being in the present, is appreciating what opportunities you have as they're there instead of moaning after something else, which may not really be what serves you. So there you go. Love it while you can. The next one, my life goals. I track this in the bullet journal. Diet and exercise goals, meaning healthy cooking, healthy shopping, exercise every day. And I'm kind of stuck on these. I've got minimum thresholds, but they're not doing enough to make me keep feeling healthy. So this one, I need some more help. I've got one big improvement is the home internet, which just happened 2 weeks ago. So I was without home internet for 9 years in this place, and I finally just broke down and got it. I was telling my friend Elizabeth that she thought it was funny. I'll just say this. She thought it was funny that I've had an online platform as an author for a year and did not have internet at home. And I'm like, you're right. That is odd. What did I do? I don't know how I did it. I was very frustrated a lot of the time. I can tell you that. But outside of internet, what else do we have on life goals? I have Bean. The Bean update is that he's sitting on the back of the couch and he's got his eyes like this. So he's content. I'm content if he's content. The bean update is good. And the blaze update is good. We are forging through to year 2. We're going into our 2nd season of literary festivals, which I am helping with. We are looking to do a conference next year. So we're like just gearing up for all these fun things. And I am so excited this next week to be able to go to Boston and meet some of these people in real life that I have been working with week in, week out for over a year now. So that'll be nice. Talking about writing community. There you go. And yeah, so that's what I have. Reading, writing, life goals. If you have a process to come up with these on your end, I'd love to see yours as well. If you have a video, feel free to link it down. Sometimes the links get eaten by YouTube, but sometimes they make it through to my Gmail notifications, so I can find them there. So never fear, put them in. We'll see if I can get them. And so the last little bit of this video is going to be Mabon related. And Mabon is actually the fall equinox. So it is a pagan wheel of the year spot. And that is just the way that pagans in Western Europe used to measure the dates of the year based on certain seasonal occurrences. So the moons and what was going on in the agricultural year, basically. And I find the folklore around these and the traditions surrounding these, as convoluted as they might be in our present day, to be still worth thinking about and reflecting on. So hence the little Mabon input here. What we have on September 21st, which is normally the fall equinox, is the 2nd of the 3 harvest festivals. So August we had Lammas or Lunasa, and October obviously we have Samhain or Halloween, which is the new year for the pagans because that's when they started their new year. So Mabon is like the last holiday espot of the pagan year, and it's about harvest, it's about gratitude, and because it's an equinox when the light is the same in the day and the night, the time is the same in the day as the night. It's about balance. So I thought I'd tackle these 3 concepts and see how I want to form my intentions shaped by them. So to start with balance, we've got an imbalance in my life. The imbalance that I see in my life is what comes in and what goes out. I have good intentions, but often I try to declutter and stuff just gets stuck here because I don't follow through with those intentions. So for the moment, I've got a little stack about 3 feet high of containers because I want to reuse them and repurpose them or recycle them. And there's nowhere to do that because we live in an imperfect system that wastes a lot. And so I keep thinking I'll find a use for them. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like hoarder behavior? Yes, it does. So reconciling my intentions with my needs means doing something with those things, breaking down the boxes, recycling the metal, using the plastic containers, what have you. So declutter for balance. That is my first goal or intention. The second one has to do with harvest. And I know I said there were 3 harvest festivals, the August, the September, and the October one. And when you think about harvest, you think about, well, I think about hay fields. You think about a cornucopia. You think about festivals in England with shovels and hay ricks and whatnot, and fairs. But in modern life, in my modern life, I think about the business that I'm trying to hold together and hold in my mind, which is to keep up with the metaphor, sowing seeds, meaning connecting with people, tracking the seeds, like in their little rows of plants, meaning keeping up the dialogue or keeping your eye on the goal, and then harvesting the seeds after they've grown, which means asking for help. So if you've done the work of sowing the seeds and mulching the seeds and weeding and all this stuff, the way that you continue throughout the year is that you harvest those things. And I think for various other reasons, it's difficult for some of us to make that harvest, meaning ask for a return. It's sometimes easier for some of us to do for others than it is to ask for help for ourselves. And so that's how I'm kind of thinking this as a harvest. And so I'm going to call that outreach. I have done this here and there. It's good practice for rejection. I don't like feeling rejection. So this has been a struggle. And I just want to remind myself around this Mabon holiday that reaching out to do a live show together or to, I don't know. There are other ideas of which I am not even aware right now, to do things with other people that could help this idea I have for a business move it forward. That is the kind of harvest that I want to focus on and act on. So there we go, harvest outreach. And the third piece is associated with gratitude, because whenever you have a harvest, you have gratitude for it. And in my cultivating community, in reading and writing and in life, I feel like it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Christy, especially on the Ideal Book Event panel that I had, which is we can be really good at planting the seeds, tracking the growth, and then maybe we even harvest well. But then when it comes to plowing it under, or like, okay, to mix metaphors, the long-tailed impact, meaning things after the event, we fall off. We're so tired. We've done so much this season. After harvest, everyone gets drunk and like falls dead asleep. So to avoid that, having gratitude in this case to me means sustaining relationships. So instead of seeding something, having an idea, putting it out there, nurturing it, putting work in, having an event, and then letting it go and going, oh, well, go with the wind. Thank you for everything. And I guess I'll see you again next time, whenever that may be. Just checking in with those people that you've worked with and collaborated with and making those feel like real relationships rather than just business transactions. So that I think would feel better, and that I think is my speed of showing gratitude. So hopefully that matches with some of your guys' speeds. And yeah, so I'm wearing orange and yellow. This is my like fall color scarf. The full moon for Mabon is actually September 20th this year, so it's ebbing by the time this video is out on the 24th. But feel free to reflect on these things. Again, let me know your video link for if you're doing channel updates or goal updates as an author or as a booktuber. I'd love to see. And if you have thoughts about Mabon or a harvest festival or the pagan whale of the year, drop them down below. Maybe I know the answer, or maybe I have thoughts to share. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. I'm in Chicago. If you see me on the street there, shout me out. And yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.